Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to take you along with me to the Chino Creek Wetlands and Educational Park. I recently learned about this place, and I honestly can't believe I didn't know about it sooner. And I'm also sorry that I didn't know about it sooner. It was opened in 2007, and the Inland Empire Utilities Agency staff maintains it. They also conduct field trips and tours. I didn't see any of that happening while I was there, but it's basically wedged at the corner of Kimball Avenue and El Prado Road, and it is sitting directly behind the Inland Empire Utilities Agency, which is who maintains it. I think it would be amazing to work there, and you can take your lunch break right in your backyard in this amazing creek wetlands area. So I honestly think you'll enjoy this tour. Stick around. This is the parking lot that I parked in. And over there, I saw one of the entrances. There are many ways to get into it. And it took me a little while to figure out how to get in there. So they have hours open listed, but I don't see any way to close it off. I don't understand how it closes, but it does say the parking lot gate can be closed, but you could just walk in if you parked elsewhere. I'm not advocating that. I'm just confused as to why they would post hours. And then they have a list of rules, which are really just basic common sense type rules. So I will be sure to link the website and Instagram account for this place in the description box below. When I entered, I really didn't know where I was going. I realized later that they have a printable map and brochure on their website, which would be helpful. And so I looked all around, and the paths sort of split out in multiple directions, and I actually ended up heading to the south side, which is the larger side. If you go to the right here, and go to the north side, it's a much smaller area. So if you're short on time and you just want to see a smaller part, that would be a good place to go. There's a lot of nests because the trees are pretty bare. So a lot of them are bare right now because it's winter time, and you can see the nests in the trees, which is really cool. That sunrise, oh, it's so beautiful. And I got to see a rabbit. There were several rabbits. They were very bold rabbits. They weren't very afraid and timid. Where I live, there are lots of wild rabbits, and they're extremely timid. So lots of just trees and plants, and there's a lot of water coming. You're not seeing it yet. It is wetlands, and you will see why. There's a northern flicker that I got a photo of. He was very active. And I spy a bridge over there. I do love bridges. So quaint. If you happen to hear gunfire in the background, there is a shooting range a little bit down the street, just so you know. There's a couple of different prisons in the area, and it's a shooting range for the prison officers to practice at, so don't be alarmed. These trees are just so beautiful. And there's that sun rising up again. So beautiful. And I saw this hummingbird. It was so cute. And I saw this pipe or tunnel, forget what they called it. There was actually several of these in the place. And they had educational materials inside. Lots of educational materials all over. That's what makes me say it's a great place to take children. There's also a play area that I'll show you later on. There's lots of trash cans and benches. So let's go check out this beautiful bridge. The water to that side was pretty green and stagnant. Makes me wonder if they get mosquitoes, but I did not see a single one while I was here. And over here, this side is pretty dry, actually. And this was a spotted towhee. There was quite a few of them around. And here's some water. This is so pretty. All the greenery and the sun coming up and the water. Just spectacular views in here. And this was a ruddy duck. I have never photographed a ruddy duck before. There were quite a few ducks. A lot of mallards, some Canadian geese. But that was a ruddy duck. A lot of American coots as well. And there were a lot of these little birdhouses. And I saw one later on. I will insert it here with tree swallows on it. So this is my first time seeing tree swallows in person. They are beautiful birds, almost iridescent coloring on them. So there's this observation tower over here. I did not go up. I imagine the view up there must be spectacular, but I'm honestly afraid of heights, and I was here alone, and I just did not do it. There's water over there too. There's like water all over the place here. Then there's more educational signs on the observation tower. There might be some up on top too, actually, now that I think about it. But they have wonderful educational stuff here. You know, this is actually very close to the nature retreat that I did a video on recently, and it's very similar the way they're set up and they're designed to clean the water and that sort of thing. It's almost the same kind of thing. This is a little more elaborate, a little bit bigger, and they allow the public to come in and see it and experience it a little more closely. But they are kind of similar, and they're both in Chino, so it's kind of interesting to me that Chino cares so much about nature and our water and that sort of thing. And this was an egret standing in the tree. If you do come here, please know that you cannot drink the water. It is not clean. So bring bottled water with you. This was a mourning dove. So pretty, and I love the sound they make. So this was all the way to the end, like the southeastern end of it. I reached this fence, and I think this is part of the utilities company here, because there's just a ton of solar panels in this lot. And these ducks were just, some were sleeping, some were standing in the path. They were very bold. Here's another tree swallow. But some of them walked away, some flew away. And it was down to one bold one at the end. But I kept my distance on the other side of the path as much as I could as I passed. I was just surprised that they were as brave as they were with people. These are mallard ducks, and I did hear a lot of Canadian geese. This is a female mallard duck. And there's more educational materials. There were some porta potties in one area. If you do go and you're wondering or needing a bathroom, as I did, do know that they are there. They were sort of near the amphitheater, which I will get to in a minute. But there was this whole timeline here. Just fascinating. I didn't have time to read all of it. I'm actually going to pause the video later and dig in and read. But it was really, really interesting how much has been put into this place and how much intention. If you're not from the area, Chino was a farming area for a very long time. And about 20-ish years ago, they started pushing the farms out and building lots and lots of houses. But there's still a lot of nature here. There's a dam, and that kind of leads out to all of these wetlands in the area. And there's the Santa Ana River. So there's a coyote warning here, but I can tell you, like, pretty much in a 30-mile radius here, and at least probably more than that, there are coyotes around in Southern California. It's pretty common. And yes, all pets on a leash. You clean up after your pet. So I was surprised that they allow pets in here, but that's nice that they do. And here's another one of these tunnels with the educational plaques inside. And over in this direction is an amphitheater. I'm sure they hold educational things here. It says they do field trips and that sort of thing. And it was somewhere near here that there were porta potties lined up. So if you go and you're looking for them, find the amphitheater. And there were some tables, not a lot of tables, but there were some tables where you could have your lunch there. More benches around than tables. This was one of the prettiest sections here of water. And you can see the fog still rolling through across the water. And this is a double-crested cormorant here, grooming himself. And this is a yellow-rumped warbler perched in one of the trees. I'm definitely eager to come back here in other seasons. We are late winter, early spring at the time I'm filming this, so I'm eager to come back and see what the place looks like in different seasons. And this was actually the first time I saw a sign showing where I came in off of the Kimball Avenue entrance. And I kept wondering when I was going to find my way back. It took a while. This is another spotted towhee. I just love them. And then I headed, instead of going to the parking lot, I headed off to the north side, and I found this Legacy Oak woodland area. And there was some stuff here for kids that I'll get to in a minute. There's a rabbit here. Again, so bold, not even afraid of me. So cute. And I did not cover, I will show you the map of what I walked at the end of the video, so stick around for that. And I will show you part of the north end. I didn't get to all of it. So I will definitely go back and cover the areas that I missed. And the rabbit is still there. And I did get a picture of him. And there was a parking lot there. That was not the one I came off of. There's like 2 off of Kimball. So, and then I saw this this area over here. There's some picnic tables. This was across the street, actually, a red-tailed hawk. I didn't see any birds of prey while I was in here. I'm really surprised. So this is an education park pipe garden. So this looked fantastic for bringing children, letting them have fun while they learn. And you can bring your lunch and eat here. Such a beautiful place to have lunch. And there's more benches there. There's these wildflowers, so pretty. I was hoping to see poppies in here. I did not see any. And they have this little pollinator garden with a bunch of educational materials about it, which is wonderful. I get lots of pollinators in my backyard because we do garden. We have an organic garden, so it does bring them, which is wonderful. The more gardens we have like this, attracting pollinators, the better. So they had lots of plants here that attract pollinators and help the pollinators. Everything was beautiful. Flowers, there was some fruit, some oranges it looks like. There's sage with flowers on it. Some of the plants I don't know the names of, but they were all there for pollinators. I know those hummingbirds love those. So this is the map of what I actually walked. So the red dot in the parking lot is where I parked and started. I believe the green dot is where I turned off the app. So when I came in, I headed to this southeastern direction, which is the bigger part of it, actually. I didn't know that. I just headed that way. And you can see there's a few little spots that I missed, but I did cover most of it all around the water. And then at the end, I went back to where I had come in and I headed the other way, and I did not cover all of that. There's still some more there. So I will definitely go back and check that out. But that is the smaller part. If you're short on time and especially if you're bringing kids, they had that. That's where all the fun kids stuff in the garden was, on the northern end. So thank you so much for joining me today. Please consider subscribing and please hit the like button. And if you hit the bell icon, you will be notified of future videos I upload. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day and God bless you.